Welcome to Last Economy Podcast, a guide to the age of intelligent economics, where we take the blueprints for the future and try to, well, figure out how to assemble them today.
Yeah, and we've really reached a critical point in the book now, this deep dive. It's chapter 18, Money for Two Worlds. We've spent time on intelligence, on networks. Now we have to talk about, how do we actually pay for all this?
Exactly. And our mission today is to unpack what feels like a profoundly radical idea. The book argues that money, just as a technology, is old, really old.
Ancient, almost.
It was built for scarcity, for human limits. And that design is just fundamentally broken, isn't it? Especially now, facing machine abundance.
Completely incompatible. And the book isn't just pointing fingers. It's actually laying out an engineering blueprint, a dual currency system. They argue it's basically essential for civilization to keep going in the age of AI.
So think of it like this, listeners. If AI is this powerful engine creating wealth and knowledge almost instantly.
Yeah, like nothing we've ever seen before.
Our current money system, it's like putting the wrong fuel in that engine. It just won't work. The book says, this isn't just theory. It's kind of a survival manual for our financial future.
It really is. You put diesel in a Formula One car, and the whole thing just seizes up. So this deep dive is about understanding why the old system is failing, why it's the wrong fuel, and what the replacement needs to look like.
Okay, let's dive in. The central crisis, the point where the old rules just stop applying. The book calls it the metabolic rift.
It's a great term. It really captures it. And to get why it's such a big deal, we have to go back to basics. Economics 101, but really basic. Millennia basic.
Okay.
Every single economy before now, everyone, agriculture, industrial revolution, all of it, it was built on one absolute, unavoidable thermodynamic fact. Labor was done by metabolic engines.
Meaning us, humans, biological machines.
Exactly. We need food, water, shelter, rest, healthcare, you name it. Those are non-negotiable inputs, calories, resources. That biological reality. It was the bedrock foundation for all wages, all prices.
Right, because if you paid someone less than they needed to eat and come back tomorrow.
The system just stopped. Instantly. No workers, no economy.
It was this kind of unspoken deal, wasn't it? Capital needed people's muscles and minds, and people needed calories and a roof over their heads. Our need for energy set a minimum price for our work. A floor.
Whether it was legally mandated or just, dictated by biology, that was the floor. And that deal, that fundamental covenant, it's over. Irrevocably broken.
We've crossed some kind of threshold.
A thermodynamic one.
Yeah.
And the book just nails the consequence. It's stark.
All right, let's get to that first quote then, because this really frames the crisis not as politics or policy, but as pure physics.
Yeah, read it out. It's critical.
Okay, for there is time, we have created a form of labor age that has no metabolic needs.
Boom. That's it. Silicon labor, AI, LLMs, robots, automation. They just need electricity.
No food, no sleep, no pensions, no sick days.
None of it. The link, that ancient biological chain between making things and human survival, it's just snipped. Cleanly severed.
And when you look at the cost comparison, it's just staggering. Think about a knowledge worker, right? A good one. A coder, designer, paralegal.
Yeah, a middle-class job historically.
What's the total cost? Salary? Sure. But then add taxes, benefits, healthcare, office space, training time, the risk they might leave.
It adds up fast. Now compare that to silicon labor doing the same cognitive task.
What are we talking? API calls, cloud compute costs, electricity?
Pretty much. Pennies, or fractions of a penny, for work that used to support a human being. It's not just disruption. The book calls it annihilation, an entire economic category wiped out.
And that's why it's called a metabolic rift. It's not just a job shift. It's a fundamental break in the underlying physics of work.
Exactly. And the crisis emerges because our money system, our whole financial world, is still priced for the old metabolic reality. If labor's price goes to zero, and money was always in some way a receipt for that labor, what's money a receipt for now?
That's the terrifying question, isn't it?
It forces us, as a civilization, to ask something completely outside the bounds of traditional economics. In a world where "were" is no longer necessary for production, what is money form?
If it's not primarily for rewarding human effort anymore, its whole purpose needs rethinking from the ground up.
And the failure to do that rethinking is why all our current systems, fiat, even early crypto like Bitcoin, are failing. The book argues they're fundamentally extractive because they were only ever built for scarcity.
Okay, let's break those down. Fiat currency first. dollars, euros, yen, the money most people use every day. Why can't we just say, print more for a universal basic income? The book digs into how it's made.
Right. Fiat is what the book calls inside money. It's born from debt.
Born from debt. How?
It's kind of mind-blowing, but something like 97% of the money supply isn't printed by government. It's created by commercial banks when they make loans.
So when I get a mortgage?
Poof. New money exists, created as a debt obligation on the bank's books.
And debt always needs to be paid back with interest.
Which means the entire system has this built-in relentless need for perpetual growth. Always expanding, has to grow just to cover the compounding interest on all the debt that created the money in the first place.
It's like a treadmill that keeps speeding up.
Exactly. It can't slow down. If growth dips below the interest rate, the whole thing risks collapsing under its own weight. It's an accounting requirement, not an option.
And that constant acceleration has to take a toll on the real world, right? The physical planet.
That's the cost. The relentless liquidation, as the book puts it, of our material M, capital, the physical resources, and our diversity D, capital, the complexity and resilience of ecosystems and societies.
We strip mine the planet and simplify everything.
All to generate enough nominal growth on paper to pay yesterday's interest. The book basically calls it the ultimate extractive machine.
Can we see this in action somewhere? A real-world example? The book mentions the Eurozone crisis.
Oh, the Eurozone is a perfect tragic example. You took a single, rigid, scarcity-based currency, the euro, and slapped it onto a bunch of really diverse economies.
Countries like Greece, Italy, Portugal.
Yeah. They effectively lost control of their own money. They couldn't adjust their currency value anymore to match their local productivity or absorb economic shocks.
So their only lever was austerity, cutting public spending.
Exactly. Crushing internal demand. Because the currency was rigid, capital just flowed towards the more productive core economies like Germany.
Directing wealth.
It starved the periphery, caused debt spirals, huge unemployment. Not because people were lazy or corrupt, necessarily, but because the financial architecture itself was fundamentally flawed. It was designed for one-size-fits-all scarcity and couldn't handle diversity. A structural failure.
Wow. Okay, so if even a regional currency union struggles that badly, the idea of one single national currency serving the whole world seems, well, doomed.
It is. History shows it. The book points to the collapse of Bretton Woods after 1971, when the U.S. dollar came off the gold standard.
Right.
It exposed this fundamental paradox, sometimes called the Triffin dilemma, part of the broader trilemma. It's basically an impossible situation for any global reserve currency.
Okay, unpack the trilemma or Triffin dilemma for us. What's the paradox?
Well, think about it. If you're the country with the world's reserve currency, like the U.S. with the dollar, the rest of the world needs your currency. For trade, for finance, for their own reserves.
So you have to supply it.
You have to pump enough of it out there. And the main way to do that is by running big, consistent deficits. Spending more internationally than you earn, effectively exporting your currency.
Okay, but wait. If you're constantly running deficits and printing more money,
you undermine the long-term value and stability of the very currency the world is supposed to trust. It's a built-in self-destruct mechanism.
You have to supply liquidity, but doing so kills confidence.
Absolutely. It's a structural trap. Satisfying global demand for dollars inherently erodes the dollar's perceived value over time. The conclusion is pretty stark. No single national currency, subject to its own domestic politics and debt cycles, can be a stable global reserve forever. It's just not built for it.
So, fiat fails. It demands endless growth, eats the planet, and can't scale globally. Okay, what about the escape route? Bitcoin, centralization's enemy.
Bitcoin. It's genuinely brilliant, cryptographically speaking. A powerful move against central control, no doubt.
But
looking through the lens of intelligent economics, which the book grounds in physics and efficiency, Bitcoin is also extractive, just in a different way.
You mean the energy cost, proof of work?
That's a huge part of it, yes. Proof of work is how Bitcoin secures its ledger, right? But it involves computers basically guessing numbers, burning colossal amounts of electricity in the process.
Like nation-state levels of energy.
Exactly. The book flags this as a massive direct drain on our material capital. And crucially, that energy isn't creating new knowledge or solving problems. It's just securing the transaction history. It's thermodynamically wasteful work, high entropy.
Okay, wasteful energy. What else?
The second big issue is its deflationary design. Bitcoin has a fixed capped supply.
Which makes people expect its value to go up over time.
Right. And if you think your Bitcoin will be worth more tomorrow, what's the rational thing to do today?
Hold on to it.
HODL.
Exactly, hoard it. Which sounds great for savers, maybe, but it's terrible for the economy as a system.
Because money stops moving.
It starves the system of interactions.
Yeah.
The buying, the selling, the sharing of information, all the things that actually build intelligence, and network and capital. If the money isn't flowing, the network can't learn or grow effectively.
So it becomes, like the book says, a stagnant pool instead of a flowing river.
Precisely. It's designed to store value, which is fine, but it actively discourages the circulation needed to generate new value and intelligence within the network.
Okay, so neither fiat, based on debt, nor Bitcoin, based on hoarding, can really handle this metabolic rift, this world of potential machine abundance.
They're both stuck in scarcity protocols, and this leads to the book's big physics mandate. We have to stop pretending the economy is one single thing.
Trying to use one tool for two totally different jobs.
That's what the book calls the design flaw of civilizational scale. We force one scarcity-based money system onto two physically distinct realities, and we get chaos, we get instability.
Okay, let's hear. Quote 2. This seems like the absolute bedrock of their proposed solution.
It is. The economy is not one thing. It is two deterrent worlds.
Two worlds. And trying to use one currency type for both just messes everything up.
Yeah, the book argues it strangles the abundant world, the world of information and AI, by preventing flow and learning. And at the same time, it floods the scarce physical world with too much debt-based credit, causing bubbles and crashes.
Okay. So if there are two worlds, we need to define them clearly, based on physics, not ideology. What's rule number 1?
World number 1 is the atomic economy. This is the world of atoms, of physical stuff, scarce, rivalrous goods.
Meaning if I use it, you can't.
Exactly. A barrel of oil, an acre of land, a computer chip, even a sandwich. Consumption is zero-sum.
Yeah.
This whole realm is governed by classic thermodynamics, laws of energy, matter, entropy. It's fundamentally tied to our material capital, M, and the limits of our planet.
And this world needs what kind of money?
It needs stability, a reliable store of value, something anti-inflationary that helps us properly price and steward these scarce resources.
Okay, that's the atomic economy. What's world number 2?
World number 2 is the bit economy, the world of information, software, data, AI models, digital media, network connections.
Stuff that's non-rivalrous.
Exactly. If I use a piece of software, you can still use it. In fact, often the more people use it, the better it gets network effects. This realm isn't governed by thermodynamics nearly as much as it is by information theory. It's about replication, connection, learning. It's tied to intelligence capital and network capital N, and it's supercharged by AI's non-metabolic production.
And this world needs flow.
Yeah.
Abundance.
Maximum flow, maximum abundance. You want to encourage creation, sharing, and connection as much as possible to maximize learning and innovation.
Okay. Two worlds, two distinct physical realities, two different needs. Atomic needs stability, bit needs flow.
That's the physics mandate.
Which brings us straight to the solution proposed in the book. The dual currency architecture. Two different types of money.
Foundation coins and culture credits.
Let's start with currency 1. Foundation coins, FC. The anchor for the atomic economy.
Exactly. The stable anchor. Its job is to properly price and help us manage scarce material capital. Think of it as the opposite of fiat. It's not born from debt.
It's born from benefit.
Yeah.
That sounds interesting. Let's get the quote that explains how they're created. This sounds absolutely key.
It's revolutionary. Okay, here it is. A new foundation coin is minted only when the network can cryptographically verify that a specific amount of useful computation has been performed for the open intelligence commons.
Whoa, okay, hold on. Useful computation. How on earth do you verify that? Isn't that subjective? And how is it different from Bitcoin just burning energy?
That is the crucial distinction. Bitcoin's proof of work is just work, converting energy into heat and random numbers to secure the ledger. It's high entropy, basically useless work outside of security.
Right.
Foundation coins demand the opposite. They require converting energy into verifiably beneficial low entropy order.
Low entropy order. Can you make that a bit more concrete? Like, what does that actually mean?
Think of it as creating structure, information, or solutions that demonstrably reduce chaos or inefficiency in the real world, benefiting everyone. Imagine, say, a new AI model that accurately predicts protein folding for medical research.
Okay, that's clearly useful.
Or maybe an algorithm that optimizes traffic flow in a city, provably reducing fuel consumption and commute times, or simulating climate change impacts with unprecedented accuracy. The key is that the utility, the complexity, the order created by the computation can be mathematically cryptographically proven.
So the foundation coin isn't just proof of work, it's proof of useful work, proof of intelligence created.
Precisely. The book reframes the physics of value. An FC becomes a tortida anaped receipt for a unit of newly created variably Benešel low entropy order. It's literally, as the book says, crystal IPED intelligence.
Wow. So its backing isn't gold or government promises or wasted energy. It's backed by the proven ability to solve problems intelligently.
That's the idea, converting energy efficiently into useful solutions for the commons.
And because these FCs are meant to anchor the scarce atomic economy, they need to be scarce too, right?
Absolutely. They have a capped supply like Bitcoin or gold. That ensures they're anti-inflationary. People will trust them to price finite things, land, resources, capital, because their creation is tied to real, verifiable value add, not just printing presses or random mining.
Okay, that's foundation coins, stable, scarce, backed by intelligence.
Uh-huh.
Now the other side, currency too, culture credits,
Yeah.
CC, the money for the bit economy.
Yes, the medium of abundance, the fuel for the digital world. Their whole purpose is to maximize the creation and circulation of intelligence and network and capital.
Fueling knowledge, connection, innovation.
All of it, making the bit economy thrive.
So how are these created? Not through useful work, presumably.
No, culture credits are issued differently. The book proposes them as an abundance dividend.
A dividend, like a UBI.
Sort of, but the framing is different. It's granted to every sovereign agent in the network, could be a person, maybe even a recognized AI, just to provide baseline liquidity.
Yeah.
It's acknowledging that participation itself, the potential to contribute information and learn, has value in this abundant economy. You're valued for your potential interaction, not your old world metabolic labor.
Okay, so everyone gets some baseline CCs just for being part of the network. But doesn't that bring us back to the Bitcoin problem? If everyone gets them, won't people just hoard them, hoping they become valuable, and then everything grinds to a halt again?
That's where the really clever, maybe controversial bit of engineering comes in. The book brings back an old idea called demurrage.
Demurrage.
Yeah.
Sounds ominous, like storage fees.
Kind of. It means the currency has a built-in decay rate, a negative interest rate, essentially. Let's get that final quote, because it explains exactly why this is needed for the bit economy.
All right. Culture credits have a built-in decay rate, demurrage. If you do not use them, they slowly lose value and return to the commons. This incentivizes circulation.
Use it or lose it. Slowly.
Wait, if the money melts, how can anyone save? Doesn't that just force frantic spending? How do you fund anything long-term in the bit economy if your savings are constantly evaporating? What about saving up for something priced in FCs? This feels unstable.
That's the key tension, and the dual system is designed to resolve it. You're right, CCs are not meant for saving. That's the explicit job of the foundation coin.
Ah, okay. So CCs are purely for flow.
Purely medium of exchange and interaction in the abundant digital realm. The demurrage is like a gentle pressure, a nudge, forcing the credits to keep moving. Hoarding them is penalized by the slow decay.
So if I accumulate a lot of CCs through, say, creating popular digital content, and I want to preserve that value long-term.
You need to convert those flowing, decaying CCs into the stable, non-decaying foundation coins. You trade the currency of abundance for the currency of scarcity.
I see. The two systems work together. One forces flow, the other offers stability.
Exactly. The demurrage on CCs ensures that the bit economy, the world of data, knowledge, AI learning, remains that Ewing River, not a stagnant reservoir. It maximizes interactions, maximizes learning, maximizes network growth. It aligns your individual incentive, I better use this before it decays, with the system's overall health, which needs constant interaction.
That completely reframes the whole physics of money, doesn't it?
Fundamentally, it's a shift, as the book puts it, from the physics of power to the physics of intelligence.
Explain that. Old money is based on power.
Think about it. Fiat currency works because the state has the power to compel its use through taxation and law. Bitcoin works because miners deploy massive computational power, hash rate, to secure the ledger. Both are ultimately enforced through forms of power.
Okay. And the new system?
The new dual system anchors value to intelligence. In the atomic world, FCs, value comes from the proven ability to convert energy into useful, low-entropy order demonstrated intelligence. In the bit world, CCs, value comes from maximizing the flow and interaction that generates collective intelligence.
So it's a system designed to fund its own intelligence growth.
Precisely. A generative anti-entropic engine. It's built to evolve towards greater intelligence, better resilience, and hopefully shared prosperity because its very mechanics reward those things.
It really does sound like the engineered solution to that civilizational design flaw, the metabolic rift we started with, a way to actually use machine abundance without crashing human society.
It's the architectural proposal the book puts forward, a financial system designed for persistence in a world where human labor in the old sense just isn't the economic anchor anymore.
Okay, that was a lot. Let's try and boil this down. Synthesize Chapter 18.
Right. If I had to capture the core argument in one sentence, it'd be this. To resolve the metabolic rift created by AI, which makes human labor thermodynamically obsolete, civilization must adopt a dual currency system that anchors scarce resources to verifiable intelligence creation and promotes the abundant circulation of digital value.
Got it. And the key takeaways for everyone listening. Let's bullet point them. Okay, first, the metabolic rift. Human labor has biological costs, food, rest. Silicon labor just needs electricity. Humans can't compete on price anymore. This breaks scarcity-based labor markets structurally. Second, old money fails. Fiat needs jet and endless growth consuming the planet. Bitcoin encourages hoarding, starving interaction. Both use one scarcity tool for two different realities. The atomic economy, scarce matter, and the bit economy, abundant info. That mismatch causes chaos. Third, foundation coins, FCs. These are for the atomic economy. They're scarce, stable, anti-inflationary. Their value isn't based on debt or gold, but on proof of useful work, crystallized intelligence benefiting the commons, the stable store of value. And finally, culture credits, CCs. These are for the bit economy. They're abundant, designed for flow. They have that built-in decay to mirage, forcing circulation to maximize learning and network effects. They're the medium of interaction, not savings.
That covers the architecture. The blueprint is laid out, but of course the massive question remains, how do you actually build this?
Right. It sounds great on paper, but
But you can't just flip a global switch. So the next chapter, chapter 19, is called The Nucleation of the New, a strategy for hope. It tackles that how question. If the book has given us the symbiotic blueprint, how does it become real without needing some kind of impossible global revolution?
so it's about implementation strategy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It looks at the physics of how change actually happens, like crystals forming in a solution. It argues change won't be everywhere at once. It'll start small in protected local experiments, nucleation sites that demonstrate this new symbiotic model actually works better, that it's strategically superior to the old extractive ways. That's the practical challenge we get into next time.